Welcome back to another video, everyone. My name's Elite, and this is another rather depressing video. This is also an unscripted and just me talking video, so if things are a little bit different to how I would normally script a video, that's why. But we're obviously talking about the state of the game, and I'm sure by now you've all seen this, which is This Week in Destiny, as well as the announcement of Shadow and Order being delayed. Are we surprised? Absolutely not. Are we upset? Absolutely. I was assuming that it would be delayed about 2 weeks, 3 weeks for the marathon release. Not 3 months, which really fucking sucks. Because I played non-stop for probably 2 to 3 weeks, and then I started to fall off after Renegades released. And it's just plummeted. Like, after the first week, I stopped engaging with the Renegades content for the most part, besides the dungeon. Now, like, what you're seeing now, me sitting in a chair in Thassa's Outpost, is the most that I've played Destiny in about a month. I have lost all interest in the game because of how Bungie have handled things and their lack of communication in this area. And it's not just that, it's just the lack of respect and interest that they have towards their consumers at this point, because this delay isn't something that they would have made up within the last week. They would have known about it for a good 2-3 months now. Probably since Renegade launched, they knew that they weren't releasing Shadow and Order on time, and that they were doing whatever they're doing with it. But also, this begs the question of, when are we going to see Shattered Cycle, which is meant to be the next expansion? Well, if we go off the every 3-month update, it means that it should be in about September, maybe November, which means we won't see an expansion until the end of the year at best. Now, there are a few good things coming with Shadow and Order, and I'll pull it back up here. Mainly tiered loot to raids and dungeons. That's great. You know, good on them for adding it. Why the fuck was it not added with the tiered system in Edge of Fate? Who knows? Most likely because they could not be fucked and didn't want people to play it, and they wanted people to play their stupid Portal. But I'm not a game dev, so I don't know. But I think it should have been added when the tier system came out. Tier 5 stats to exotic armor is cool. If they're going to do this, they need to make it retroactive, is all I'm saying, because I'm not rebuying my armor and finding my armor again for the 4th time. They absolutely need to make it retroactive. Pantheon 2.0 might be great. Pantheon was one of the most beloved activities that we've had in the history of Destiny. But they can't fuck it up. If they fuck it up even a little bit, then the game is even more dead than it was currently, or is currently. Now, the fact that they're going to just give us bug fixes until June, yeah, that's not going to cut it. The game's been dead for a while. Like, we all make jokes about how Destiny is dead, but it's well and truly dead now. Like, there's no life support system. The game's gone. I honestly wouldn't even be surprised if they come around with Shadow and Order and say, hey, Shattered Cycle and The Alchemist aren't coming. There is no more expansions. I wouldn't be surprised. In saying that, I don't want to be all doom and gloom. I do think that there is a way for Destiny as a franchise to survive. But in order to do that, Bungie need to make some real big changes moving forward. And the first one of those, and there's so many people are going to hate me saying this, it's going to be Destiny 3. But not for the reasons you think. This isn't me saying, hey, new game engine, same strikes, all this other shit. Destiny clearly needs a fresh start. The game file, I play on Xbox, the game is over 150 gigabytes at this point. It takes up most of my Xbox's storage. And, you know, when it comes to things like this, where we've been playing this game for almost 10 years itself, they kind of need to move on. They need to massively overhaul the engine, first off, to keep up with other games. You know, they have said themselves that this engine causes a lot of issues. They don't necessarily have to switch to like Unreal Engine 5, which, mind you, would be amazing. But they need to change some things with the engine and massively overhaul it to keep up with current games, as well as just optimize it. I've heard a lot of things from people who have inside sources saying that the engine just does not optimize well. On top of that, Destiny 2 holds a stigma. And that is that it is a game that constantly dies and then is brought back to life once a year. For example, Destiny 2 launched in a pretty rough state, which looking back was a pretty good state. Curse of Osiris, the studio was 2 weeks from closing, according to a lot of sources. So I've got no fucking idea how they're open now, but they were 2 weeks from closing and Warmind saved them when it released. Same with Forsaken. That was arguably the golden age of Destiny 2. And then after Shadowkeep, you know, Black Armory is pretty good. Season of the Drifter, pretty good, not the best, but it was in a slow period. And then you had Season of Opulence, which was, we're back, new raid, new everything. And then Shadowkeep came out, and it was a pretty big disappointment. But you see the cycle. It's, you know, expansion comes out, season comes out, game's dead. Second season comes out, kind of interesting, but game dead. Third season comes out, awesome, new expansion on the horizon, expansion's awesome, and then game dead again. Just goes in that cycle. And that's the stigma, and that's the issue with Destiny 2. On top of, it's really hard to get new players into the game because it's just sub-menu after sub-menu after sub-menu. And at this point, I don't think it's worth saving. I think at this point in time, they just need to pull the plug and say, hey, you're going to get the next expansion, and then we're moving on to Destiny 3, where they can rebuild everything from scratch. Strikes can come back to the way that they were in D1, where it was exciting to play a strike. They can rebuild Gambit from the ground up. Like, they could do that in Destiny 2, but I don't think it would be received very well because, again, you say, hey, we're putting Gambit in, and it's like, oh, cool, Gambit. But we've made all these changes to it. Like, cool, it's still Gambit. Still got the name Gambit. The other big thing is that they can fix a lot of the power progression issues. They can fix the monetization issues. They can give us a massive fresh start. That is what the franchise needs. That is what the game needs. If not for a new game, I don't know what they can do, because the veterans that have moved on, the people who've been playing like me since the alpha of Destiny 1, you know, we're all moving away from Destiny because Bungie don't care to fix things. And they're not going to get us back. I'm going to come back because I love the game. And if you're enjoying the game right now, awesome. I'm so happy for you. But it's not fun for me anymore. It's not fun watching my favorite game of all time die every 2 weeks. You know, and then new expansion comes out. I'm like, oh, this is it. This is the one. And then it doesn't do it. You know, Edge of Fate was a mistake. Renegades was a good step in the right direction, but since then there's been no steps anywhere. If anything, there's been multiple steps back. Which brings me to my next point of what they could do with a Destiny 3. With the history of Destiny, there's always been the villain. You know, like there's been in Destiny 1, it was the darkness. Although they didn't really tell us what it was and they didn't know what it was, but it was the ambiguous force that was coming after us. Then when we got to Destiny 2, they had basically done away with the darkness, and it was Gaul and the actual forces that we were facing. And then at the end of Destiny 2, at the original campaign, we see the pyramid ships. And we're like, oh, pyramid ships, the fifth faction, they're coming, the darkness. You know, the rumor was that they were called the Veil at the time. And then we went, you know, a couple years, I think it was till Shadowkeep, where we finally saw the pyramids again, or we briefly saw them in Forsaken, which is still good. Like, you know, you've got that, oh, the villains are coming, because they were shown to be outside of the galaxy. And then at the end of Shadowkeep, we actually interacted with who we thought was the Winnower, but turns out to be the Witness, which we found out in Witch Queen. Or was it Witch Queen? Yeah, it was Witch Queen. We found out about the Witness. And in Beyond Light, before that, we found out, oh, the darkness isn't evil, the darkness is just a force. And then we got the Witness, and then we got to interact with the Witness briefly, and we got whatever the fuck Lightfall was. That shit was terrible. But we had the main villain interacting and learning about, and we had a focus to be like, hey, we have to beat this guy. Right now, that's what we're missing. We don't actually have a villain. We just have 9 ambiguous voices speaking to us, calling us weapon, and an impending extinction that just doesn't mean shit. Like, honestly, outside of the 2 expansions, there hasn't been any mention of the extinction prophecy. So Destiny 3 gives us the chance to continue the 9 saga, which I don't think they should abandon. I think it's a good idea, but they need to give us a villain to look at. Make it so the outer orbits, you know, like Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, make it so they are the villains of this saga. Make them evil. Make their vessels, whoever they are, evil. And I don't know what else they can do besides that. They do need to do a fresh start. They need to do something. Anything would be better than right now. And to those of you who are saying, oh, they shouldn't have made Marathon, they're a game studio. They're gonna make other games. It does suck that they've taken resources away from Destiny, but that's how game development works. They thought Marathon was going to be the next big thing, so they put money into it. If they saw Destiny was skyrocketing into the stratosphere, broke into the mainstream media, they would put so much money into Destiny. But it's not. And they're taking a gamble on a new IP that they want to develop. And the thing that people need to realize is, with Marathon, if it does succeed, they have more money now. They'll put some of that into Destiny. They're not going to put it all into Destiny, but some of it will go there. Anyway, that was just, you know, another quick little rant about Destiny. I don't think there'll be many Destiny videos going forward. I just have no interest in the game right now. I have a Poppy Playtime video coming out soon because I'm playing the new chapter on stream. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you don't like my opinion, tell me why, and I will see you in the next.